reporting to you live from Miami, Florida. I'm down here chilling with my boy Dwayne Wade. And this is just iced coffee, YouTube. Just it's not liquor, just to let y'all know, YouTube. But yeah, I'm down here chilling with my boy Dwayne Wade. We're here eating some popcorn, just watching the waves go by. It's 71 degrees, just a beautiful day down here in Miami, Florida. But me and D Wade are watching some throwback basketball games because, of course, right now the regular season isn't on, so we're watching some throwbacks. Dwayne Wade is showing me some of his old throwback highlights, some just Miami Heat offensive plays, just some stuff they're doing on defense, just what's going on in the basketball world. And Dwayne Wade just talking, he had a quote he said to me. He says, fans, they sit there, they smell the popcorn, they eat the popcorn, but they don't know what's going on when the popcorn is popping. And I was like, yeah, Dwayne Wade, I'm a pee on. Dwayne Wade said he's gonna pee on me. I said that's kind of weird, Dwayne Wade. Don't do that, brother. But moving on though, Dwayne Wade said, you don't know what's going on when the popcorn's popping. And I said, please educate me, D Wade. The NBA star players, superstar players, not even them, just general players in the NBA, they act like they're doing masters algebra. They're in a masters algebra class, and we're over here just learning what 2 plus 2 equals still. 2 plus 2 equals 4, just in case you didn't know. But that kind of frustrates me. I love Dwayne Wade in all seriousness. I'm a Spurs fan, so I would have my reasons not to like Dwayne Wade with the Heat beating us in the finals, things like that. But just seemed like a really cool player growing up. He had awesome highlights, things like that, and just seemed like a cool, humble, down-to-earth dude. But Dwayne Wade, Draymond Green, Jeff Teague, Gilbert Arenas, of course, some of these ex-NBA players, they act like they know so much about basketball, and I'm sure they know a lot, but then they say some of the most ridiculous takes about basketball, and especially about the fans. This video is more about what Dwayne Wade said about the fans, and it was kind of frustrating, honestly. It made me feel bad because, like I said, Dwayne Wade was one of my favorite players growing up. Just seemed like a cool dude and a good role model. I'm sure he still is. It's not me saying D Wade is a bad guy or something like that, because he's not. But it was just frustrating to say, the fans, y'all just sit there, y'all eat the popcorn, smell the popcorn, but y'all don't know what's actually going on out here on the basketball court. Or his quote was more something like, y'all don't know what it's like to compete on the basketball court at the professional level. I guess he's right. I don't know what it's like to compete on the basketball court at the professional level, but, I feel like he's kind of insinuating in his quote that the fans just don't know about basketball. They don't know what they're looking at. And a lot of other players say similar things as if, like I said again, they're just masters level algebra, and we're over here trying to learn what 2 plus 2 equals. But with D Wade's quotes, that's just what frustrated me, just acting like the fans don't know about the sport when you have guys. He's basically saying if you didn't play in the NBA, you can't know about basketball, where there's a bunch of guys that play high school basketball. They've been playing since middle school, their whole lives. They make it into college, play 4 years of college basketball, and then they don't have the talent to make it to the NBA. And that's fine, it happens. You have to be not necessarily a physical freak, but if you're not a physical freak, you have to be at the top level of the game, like a Trae Young type, De'Aaron Fox type, name whichever other 6-foot guard you want to name that's just in the NBA because they're so skilled at their small height. But with Dwayne Wade just saying that, like I said, if you play your whole life, you play 4 years of college, then you can't make the NBA, but you're able to make the coaching ranks and you become a professional coach, or you're an assistant coach, you work on the medical staff, whatever you're doing, but you're seeing the day-to-day operations in the NBA every single day. You're behind the scenes as an assistant coach, even if you're a head coach, and you're seeing everything that's going on, you're making plays, shooting coach, whatever other position you want to name on the coaching roster. But that's what kind of frustrates me. Like, these guys know a whole lot about basketball. Some of the greatest basketball minds never played in the NBA. Greg Popovich, I don't think Eric Spoelstra played in the NBA at all. Brad Stevens, I think he may have played in the NBA, but these guys weren't some great NBA player. Or again, I don't even think any of those guys played in the NBA. Maybe Brad Stevens, but Popovich and Spoelstra, I'm pretty much sure, didn't play in the NBA at all. So You don't have to be a 5-star chef to know that some food tastes bad. I can look at the food and say this food tastes bad or this food tastes really good. And I feel like it's the same thing for basketball. If you're studying the game, watching all these things that happen, just knowing what a point guard should do when the defense makes this switch or that switch, knowing who you should pass to, what you should do, you can see that visually and just know in your mind, what the right play is to make, even though you can't go out there and make the play yourself. I can watch LeBron James play, and I'm saying I don't know as much as LeBron James by any means, but I can watch LeBron James play. Maybe he's running the pick and roll. He comes down, my iced coffee here. The corner man cuts down to help in the paint. I know LeBron James should kick it out to the corner. That's a read that I know it's not an insane read to make. There's way harder reads to make at the NBA level. Again, like I said, there's passes I couldn't make, but if I was 6'8", 260 pounds with the 40-inch vertical, I could probably make those passes and make those plays. And it's not a matter of your intelligence so much. It's more a matter of if you just study the game a whole lot. That's not me saying some person that just plays street ball their whole life can come into the game and make all these professional level NBA reads. To be a person like LeBron James, a passer like that, Magic Johnson, Steve Nash, Jason Kidd, insert your favorite passer, playmaker here. You have to study the game a whole lot, know how to make all these different reads, know what to do when the defense makes this switch and that switch, and that takes a whole lot of studying the game. But like I said, you don't have to be an NBA player to do all this studying of the game and to know when to make this play or make that play. So that was just kind of frustrating that Dwayne Wade said that. It's kind of it's just like frustrating to the fans. It's kind of insulting to the fans, especially when you have these guys from 90s, 80s, 70s. They do all this to build up the game, and now the players can come in today and they're kind of reaping the benefits of it, and they're not as respectful to the fans, I guess, as we would like them to be. Back in the 80s, 90s, these guys are signing all these autographs and always taking the time to understand it's a symbiotic relationship between the players and the fans. You can't insult the fans and say all these bad things to the fans and then lose your fan base and expect the product and money to keep going up, even though it has been just as of lately. My last point would be when the players act like the game is an art form. It is an art form to some degree. Dwayne Wade said people need to learn how to respect the craft, just another word for an art form. And again, it's just him insinuating that, us regular fans don't understand what's going on when we watch the game. That's kind of how I take it. You don't understand this craft or this art form. And I was watching some replays of Michael Jordan games. It was the replay of the game when he's playing the Lakers in the 91 finals, and he goes up with his right hand for the dunk and switches to the left and finishes with the left hand. I'm sure y'all know the play I'm talking about, but they're interviewing Michael Jordan the game, or before the game after that, the game after he made that play, and he was just talking almost, like he's a basketball genius as well. He's like, oh, I just went up there, I was in the air, and I had the creativity and the insight and the thoughtfulness, to switch to my left hand and finish with my left hand. And, he almost put it in a way that was like, I did that because I'm just smarter and more creative than all these guys around me, when I'm not saying he was not a creative player or not a smart person. What I am saying is that if I was 6'6" with a 48-inch vertical, I'd be pretty creative in the air as well, and I would probably go up with my right hand and switch to my left hand and finish. But it doesn't have to do with my creativity. It has to do more with my athleticism and my ability to be in the NBA. Same thing with my point with D Wade. If I was 6'4", 6'5" with a 40-inch vertical and could do all these different things, I'd probably be more creative on the court. But the thing is not about my mindset and my thoughtfulness to make these creative moves. It's just a matter that myself and a lot of other people that aren't in the NBA just don't have the athletic gifts and, the height and the body and the frame to be an NBA player. But with that being said, it's not a video to hate on Dwayne Wade. Still love Dwayne Wade as a player. Him, that's the one kind of ridiculous thing Dwayne Wade said, in my opinion, or one thing that kind of frustrated me. But that one thing Dwayne Wade said, Jeff Teague, Arenas, Draymond especially, a lot of these guys say ridiculous things, and a lot of these guys say things that are kind of alienating the fans from the game, and then people complain about all the three balls getting shot, this and that. I think the game is still in a good place. I think it's more entertaining than ever, but we'll see how things go. I think less threes could be shot. I think there's things they can do to improve the game, and one of the first things that I think could be done is just players being more respectful for the fans and not saying things like what Dwayne Wade said and acting like the fans can't understand the game, because a lot of the fans, just the casual fans, that's fair to say, maybe they don't understand all these intricacies of the game. I'm not saying that I understand everything about the game, but there are some fans, again, like I said, people on the coaching staff that study the game a whole lot, and they do understand what's going on. It's not some master's level algebra, again, like I said at the beginning of the video, but still got a lot of love for Dwayne Wade. Awesome player, still says some good things on his podcast or when he's on other people's podcasts, but just that one comment about fans, y'all smell the popcorn, eat the popcorn, but don't try to act like you know what's going on in the game. I just took that as, fans, just stay your ass in the seat and don't think too hard and try to hurt your brain. But please like and subscribe. Please comment below about what you think about Dwayne Wade's comments, and we'll see you all for the next one.